started as a very young child. My first remembrances of playing with crayons and a brown paper bag and really enjoying it. And now I do watercolors and acrylics.
I was moving from the time I was born, just always moving. It used to drive my mom crazy. I started officially taking classes, dance classes, when I was 4, and I just never stopped from then on.
When I was very little, like we all did, I think I made a koala bear when I was in preschool. And I have been making art professionally for over 10 years now, and the kind of work that I'm doing now is large-scale installations and public artworks.
I started at the age of 3, acknowledging that I am an artist. The life of a career artist became something apparent after I got out of college in '87. My art form is sometimes visual arts from found materials to my studio work that might come from bought materials, but it's a combination of things that I experience or stories that are told or visual experiences.
I've always done art. My mother has drawings I did as a little child. So I've always drawn, painted, worked in clay, knit, did all sorts of things that I think are creative. And now I'm a painter, work in oils and watercolors, and I paint Adirondack landscapes.
What I remember would be when I was 4 years old, I got my first pile of Marvel and DC comic books, and then I proceeded to draw everything that I saw in those, every superhero in those kind of books I drew. So I would say kind of art I make now is still the superhero stuff and portraits, maybe some impressionistic, a lot of times accidental art.
Well, I started making art when I was a little boy, 12 years old. I used to draw baseball players and various figures from comic books. Now I make lyrical poetry, live art, word art.
I was drawing and doing things with my hands as a young child, but it was never encouraged. And one of the things that I've always kind of regretted, that the school system that I went through, which was not in New York, didn't have any art classes or art courses in the curriculum of any of the schools that I went to until I got into college.
I am a musician, and I've been doing music all my life, but I didn't start focusing until I was a recent college graduate, and that was when I dug into writing my own songs.
So I started out in this business as an actress, and my 15 minutes of fame was playing Aunt Sarah on The Cosby Show, Alicia Rashad's sister. In graduate school, I discovered that I had a talent for playwriting, and so I became a playwright, and then eventually directing, and then becoming a producing artist.
I started drawing when I was really little, and then I actually began painting about 8 years ago here in the United States for the very first time.
Well, I've always been taking pictures since I was a little kid. Mostly family pictures back then, 50 years ago. And about 10 years ago, I started shooting landscapes. And now I take portraits from time to time. I've moved from film to digital.
I'm a professional dancer and have been for, I don't know, 15 years or so, but I actually started dancing when I was 3 years old. But dance is not the only art that I do.
I started making art as a small child and make all different kinds of art, but the art that supports me at the moment is calligraphy, so I'm a professional calligrapher.
I've always done craft projects. The best way to get an A on a project was to not only have the content, but to make it look good. My father was a commercial artist. He did painting. I've gone through stained glass, slip casting. In dance, I did every genre that had to do with African American history and culture. And now I am a quilt artist and a fiber artist.
I started making art, in my recollection, as soon as I can remember. It was not writing my name, it was drawing my name. And the kind of work that I'm doing now is working in pastel, working in drawing the figure, observation of the figure, and in the pastel, observation of the landscape and color.
I've been a practicing dancer, choreographer, teacher, producer since I was 14, 13, something like that. And it's a major thing that has literally moved me around the country and around the world. Right now what I'm interested in is moving people around public space.
I began in Rio de Janeiro in the late 1940s and studied under a world-famous portrait artist from Italy, from Bologna.
And I picked my high school based on its really good art facilities, and they had a great art teacher there, so I kept developing my art, particularly painting. I've been painting with oil on canvas since my senior year in high school, and that's just the medium that I like most.
I guess I started when I started talking. I'm a storyteller, and I think not just me, but everybody starts telling stories as soon as they can start talking. My 3-year-old grandson has already started.